How's it going, comic fans? Welcome back to another minute-ish review on Cafeteria Drops, where we're going to take a critical look at popular culture while chowing down on some school lunch favorites. Today, we're diving into the mystery and intrigue within the pages of Valiant and Alien Books one-shot, Britannia, the Great Fire of Rome, while also tackling this exquisite school lunch featuring tater tots and 2 hamburgers with ketchup and mustard. The detectioner Antonius Axia has another case that needs to be solved using his superior and analytical detective skills. So, does he solve the mystery? And is this one-shot even worth reading? Stay tuned to find out. Okay, let's start with the narrative of Britannia, the Great Fire of Rome. A seasoned writer can make all the difference, and after experiencing the ups and downs of Valiant's efforts recently, it's nice to see Peter Milligan back on writing duties. Milligan's experience as a writer certainly shows through with this title, as he weaves together a narrative with some interesting twists and a few impactful reveals and cameos. If you are unfamiliar with the Britannia series, it follows a detectioner, a Roman detective by the name of Antonius Axia, as he solves all sorts of paranormal and supernatural mysteries in Rome. In this one-shot, there are 2 parallel storylines that Milligan juggles deftly. The first involves Antonius investigating who caused the Great Fire of Rome, a case assigned to him by Caesar himself. The other storyline involves locating the brother of a mysterious client by the name of Vexana. As you read, these 2 storylines cross paths and weave together to form a nicely cohesive narrative that will keep you interested from start to finish. I was certainly impressed with the way Milligan kept the story engaging while also juggling the numerous characters and events. It's a positive that Valiant chose for this to be a one-shot of 56 pages. It gives the narrative room to breathe. It was also refreshing to see a book that is removed from the present-day Valiant universe that is still contextually situated within it, as characters like Armstrong, Gilad, the Eternal Warrior, and Vexana the Warmonger, and other surprise guests make appearances. This fact also brings me to my only complaint about this story. While it's interesting in its own right, it's inconsequential to the Valiant universe as a whole. Nothing overly revolutionary happens here. In my opinion, this one-shot was essentially used to reintroduce characters who will play a big part in the resurgence of the Valiant Universe event that's starting next month. Alright, now let's take a look at the visuals for Britannia, the Great Fire of Rome. The duties on bringing Milligan's script to life have been handed to Alvaro Papagianni, who is handling pencils, and Mariano Morales and Ezequiel Fernandez Roel on colors. On the pencil side of the book, Papagianni does an admirable job. Unlike previous Valiant releases recently, characters have a consistent look throughout the book. The action is framed within the panels in a visually interesting way, and the locations are rendered with as much skill as the characters are. It's also nice to see faces, hands, and characters' bodies drawn to scale and given the attention they deserve. The quality of Papagianni's art makes me feel confident with him working on Eternal Warriors: The Last Ride of the Immortals, which drops in July. Also, the gore-soaked gladiatorial battles in the book are visually striking. The blood and guts are presented here with skill instead of just being brushed on with a custom blood splatter brush in Photoshop. It's great to see these aspects of the book actually drawn on the page. Now, I will say that not everything is up to par with the pencils. There are some panels with shadows that were not consistently rendered, to the extent that it annoyed me because they looked really rough. It didn't ruin the book for me by any means, but it was certainly noticeable. On the color side of the book, I can gladly say that I was impressed as well. Mariano Morales and Ezequiel Fernandez-Roel do great work here with coloring techniques that nicely complement Papagiani's pencils. Colors pop off the page and contrast nicely with one another to create a visually engaging look in each panel. Whether we're with Antonius fighting the Great Fire of Rome or in the Vestal Virgin's chamber, each has a unique and visually striking look. Roel seems to be coloring or assisting with coloring for pretty much every Valiant book at the moment, and I'll have to say I'm fine with that after seeing the quality of his work with this title. Lastly, the trade dress on this book is yet again excellent as the partnership between Valiant and Alien Books continues to pay off. The cover is thick cardstock and the pages are thick and glossy. This book certainly feels like a premium release yet again. To sum things up, the positives of this book include Peter Milligan on writing duties, an interesting and engaging story, awesome cameos, visually interesting art and colors, and the premium feel of the trade dress. This book only has a couple of cons that include some inconsistent rendering of shadows and the inconsequential nature of the story in relation to the rest of the Valiant universe. Alright comic fans, that wraps up our review of Britannia, the Great Fire of Rome, written by Peter Milligan and drawn by Alvaro Papagiani. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned to Cafeteria Drops for more Valiant comic book goodness. See you next time.